All right, so thank you for being on, Sara. I want to welcome you guys all to our team call. Team Alive, I just want to tell you guys, I know Sara's team is on as well. I just want to shout out everybody who did the Josh Coach training last month, and the people who joined into one this month. I know we had a handful of people last month, and I know we have a handful of people this month. And the people who are in the March Dash to Diamond group, I know that people get caught up, takes time to get caught up on the videos, but they are absolutely amazing. There's so many different people and stories and ways of working their business in that. It's worth it just to watch those trainings. I know I was blown away by Keith, and I know I haven't gotten to Haley Christensen yet, but I've heard a couple of people I've talked to today. She's just so likable, and they all build so differently. Patrick, Roman, obviously. Shout out to people who did that. We're not even halfway through the month, so if you haven't reached your Success Club goals, there's still plenty of time. Make sure that you've got a group planned and something to invite to. And I just want to put this out there. I know we've talked about this before, but if you don't already have your April scheduled out, make sure you schedule your April now and your May and your June. Get it on your calendar. Don't leave it to chance. All right, that's all I'm going to say. So I want to welcome Sara and her team here. Sara is a Diamond. She's a lifetime 1-star Diamond. She's a Success Club 5 legend. I see Sara as she's somebody I think who you kind of fly underneath the radar, but she has done amazing things in her business. Huge things in her business. Her team is on track to, go 5-star, possibly elite this year. You're very consistent, I know, and I think that's amazing. And I watched your team just grow. So many of your girls on your team, ladies on your team, hit Success Club every single month, which is no small feat. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. And we thank you for being on. So I don't know if people know that now you have to click the start video. Does everyone see that? A lot of people are not on video. It doesn't matter if you're not on video, but I'm just putting that out there in case you didn't know you have to actually click that now. It's the new thing. Anyways, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to turn it over to you guys. So thanks for being on.
All right, thank you, Katie. And in advance, I'm going to go ahead and apologize if I freeze. I tend to have a few little Wi-Fi connection issues. So my name is Sara Whiteside, for those of you who don't know me, and my team is Team Balance, and several of them are on here this evening too. Thank you guys for coming. It's kind of our typical time that we would have a team meeting too, so it was kind of nice to double up and be able to chat with Team Alive on the same day. So, Katie and Katie, when did you register?
For coaching, I started October 2013.
Okay, all right. So Katie and I know Katie was in as, a discount coach for quite a while. Kind of the same story that Megan had. She kind of sat on the discount for a year. Katie sat on the discount for a while. Just kind of sat back and watched. And so when I was getting in coach.
Good for you, baby.
What?
When I was coming in as a coach in June of 2014, so it wasn't that much longer after Katie, the shore business was starting to pick up, and, I always, have seen, just watching Katie develop her business in her quiet Katie way has been so beautiful to me, to see that somebody can kind of do it like that, because for me it's felt so clumsy and awkward and shoving it in the mom cracks, because a little bit of my story, and I think everybody feels like that, whether they are a working mom or a stay-at-home mom, it always feels like you're trying to stuff this in, and some people just have this nice quiet demeanor about it. And I think, Martha on my team is kind of the same way, versus me, where I feel like I'm just a hot mess all the time, and it just, my teams, when they go on live, sometimes on our team page, they're like, oh no, I'm going to pull a Sara, I'm going to cry. Because that's just kind of how bottled up this all gets for me sometimes. But that being said, it is because it's very much a passion project for me, and something that brought me back some purpose in my life other than just being married. So Brian and I have been married for 14 years. Our 2 kids, Tyson and George, are 7 and 5. And I work full time as an athletic trainer at a high school. And, so my typical work hours are 2 p.m. to 9 or 10 p.m. I've been out working in the freezing cold past 3 days. I put in 30 hours on the soccer field, and it just is kind of messy a lot of the time. Like, there isn't really any time building this business that it happens in this like beautiful, like, I feel like my business, in terms of the workers in my business, and the growth that we had, especially, from like January to June of last year, it was big for Team Balance. And it was just, it was pretty organic. And I'm going to kind of get into, I think, a few of the things that Team Balance excels at, that kind of perpetuates like building this organic business where there are a lot of people in my business who are active coaches. At the end of the year, the company sends out like this kind of like your year in review on your, one of the numbers that I was really, really proud of was that my number of discount coaches, meaning, so they have this sector, they don't even count the people who haven't ordered in the last 3 months. And then there's like, it's like percentage of discount coaches. Mine was under 10%, which means that more than 90% of the coaches on my team have sold something to somebody. Means they're sharing their story and they're sharing the product. And that is something that I was really proud of. Even though my numbers from 2015 to 2016 didn't go up substantially in what I was doing personally, my income more than doubled. It was, and I did a video a few months back, like on the income tracking, and I kind of compared my growth to Megan's growth, which is like, I mean, I'm still in like the first 10% of the growth of her business, of Megan's business. And I would love to, my plan for this year is to leave my full-time job for a few different reasons. The first reason is that my husband owns a coffee shop, and we're looking at a second location right now. And if that happens, then I just have to be here for my kids and my husband. My kids are now both in elementary school, so I get to spend about 1 hour a day with them Monday through Friday, and that's pretty painful. Up until this year, I had at least George home with me, and he'd be in preschool a few hours, a few days a week. But when I didn't have that anymore, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have all this time to work my business. And it's like, you just fill in that time. It's not like I had that much more time compared to when he was here, but here's what I was missing. I now am Monday through Friday, we wake up, we eat breakfast, we do homework, and we go to school. And I specifically drive them to school just so I can get that extra 30 minutes with them during the day to drive them in. I literally walk them in the building, and I walk George over to the kindergarten building because that's my time with them for the day. And then when I leave to go to work at 1 o'clock, and I also have an hour drive, an hour commute to work. So I get a lot of personal development time in the car, which is really nice. And that is, I think, has also been one of the strong points of building Team Balance, and also the culture that a lot of the coaches, on Team Balance are, some of them are attracted to that. So, that was my story in like the most obscure way I've ever told it. I hope I hit all the important pieces. I also signed up as a discount coach. I saw a post that Megan put up. She had made this chocolate Shakeology dip with like yogurt and peanut butter, and had, the apples positioned in the little bowl. And she's like, this stuff is so healthy and my kids devour it. And I was like, I had just started back in on my fitness routine. I had been completely inactive basically from the time I got pregnant with Tyson until George was 3 years old. And then I had started a YouTube program with a friend of mine. We kept in touch 89 out of 90 days. It was nothing Beachbody related, but we had that personal accountability, me and her. And towards the end of that 90 days is when the launch for Pio Pio had just launched. And I saw Megan's post because I had just started posting some things about eating healthier. And so Facebook Affinity said, hey, I'm going to take these two people who haven't talked to each other on Facebook, like maybe even ever. Like I think I had friend requested Megan like maybe 5 years prior or something like that, because she was always stars in my eyes because she was a Duquette. We went to college together. We were TAs, anatomy TAs together. So I had friend requested her, but we had never talked. And then I saw her post. I messaged her. I said, where do I get that Shakeology stuff? And she sent me, that message that she says she used to send, that it was like this long in the messenger. That's what I got. But guess what? You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I said, sure, I'll do anything for a discount. And I signed up as a coach. This was like 6 months after I had resigned a different business number with a different company that we were in for like 6 years. It caused a lot of tension between me and my husband, and so it wasn't a good thing. I didn't tell him I signed up for Beachbody until like 2 weeks later when I was starting a new coach training. And so I was not looking for anything, but it was July. Megan was running a new coach training group. So I said, this is my month that I don't have to do anything. I can focus on me. And I dove right in. And that is, I think, one of the key points of getting a new coach in and getting them started is to get them in a new coach training program. And I'm sure that Katie is running one with you guys. Whether it's continuous or you have start dates or, whatever it is, they've got to go into a new coach training program, because if you don't get them some of those tools to start getting them the knowledge to be successful, then they're going to fall right off the wagon. Like, potentially even before they've completed their first program. So I signed up with Pio, started Shakeology. I had never drank a shake before. I had never made a shake before. I was not a juicer girl. I was, nothing. And I was like, well, I better like this because I bought a whole bag of it. So within 4 days, I was like bouncing off the walls with energy. I felt like I could get away with only 4 hours of sleep a night. And I have been diagnosed with narcolepsy in the last 1.5 years. So that really kind of turned my world upside down. So the energy thing was something that was very important for me. I also have gotten rid of seasonal allergies that I took, 4 different medications for, like 10 months out of the year. So big lifestyle change for me. It all played a part. But I think, every single person on my team will tell you that they have seen a major breakthrough in their health since signing up. Okay. Amanda, who's on here from California, she had been at that, she had been at it, hitting her fitness. She had had a major, major weight loss story before joining Beachbody, but she had hit a plateau. And she was so Amanda, I'm going to have you tell your little story about she's going to go real quick. But I want you to tell your story about how anti-Shakeology you were and how much you love it now.
Sorry, I was muted. I kind of felt like there was no need for me to take a shake or drink a shake. And that's how I thought of it, was take a shake. I was already counting my calories. I was already watching my macros, and I ate high protein already. So I just didn't really see why it was necessary. I was reaching goals, but like you said, I definitely hit a plateau, and I bought Shakeology as a way to buy myself into a 21-day group, and I bought it, so I might as well drink it. And it really changed my mind. I definitely, even I think I bought 10 packs, and even that 10 pack, got me over that plateau, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So that is, using the products just time and time again. You have to love the products. You have to want to share them. And I don't even remember what group or video I saw it in recently, but oh no, it was on the Rookie of the Week. Who was the Rookie of the Week was like, I just love the products, and I just shared, and she hit basic almost diamond. Now this is a Team Phoenix, coach, and she's almost diamond, and she didn't know what she was doing. She was just sharing the products and selling, and it is just to love the products that much that you're not afraid to say, I drink this every single day, and I love the way it makes me feel. And I don't talk about it enough on my personal page. Well, actually, I'm using my like page a lot more now. But I didn't want to feel like I was pushing product on people. But when I get into personal messages, and this is where 90% of my invites happen, sometimes I don't even put up an event invite for some of my groups, but, I'm running 5-day groups every month. I am, have something to plug customers into. It's all of those personal messages where you keep continuing to develop those relationships. Same stuff you hear from everybody. Hopefully something that one of us says will kind of sometimes it takes hearing it from a different person, different place, different timing in your business. And that's why getting on these calls is always important. So I said it a little bit before about my commute. I'm a personal development junkie. I love personal development. And I learned that from the previous business that I was in. I love books. I love conferences. And I've always kind of been that way. But it taught me to learn that learning about myself was fun too. And so that is, oh shoot, where was I going with that? Ooh. My husband walked through the kitchen and I got distracted. Oh, check the brownies. That's what he's doing. Okay. But consistency. So consistency, inviting, conversations. Ashley, you're up next because you're going to talk about either your experience with the Josh Coates training or the experience that you've actually, what I really want you to talk about is how you have developed as a conversationalist in messaging and how you used to try to make those scripts work so hard. You're like, I just can't get it. I want you to talk a little bit about that development. Now, Ashley is like this close to diamond, and she's been that close for a long time, and she's going to hit it sooner than sooner than she knows. But go ahead, Ashley, just chat with them a little bit about.
I mean, I guess it's just like that word consistency is definitely, but I know when I first signed up, like Sarah said, as a coach, I was, like looking at scripts and, and scripts are a great starting point, but really, and I always tell this to my new coaches, is that we're truly just in the business of building relationships with people. And I think if you just keep it that simple and think about what that means, and that means connecting with new people every day and finding out about them and just truly caring about them. And if you take that, don't worry so much about the invite and just truly concentrate more about talking to people and finding out about who they are and, what their interests are, are they married? Do they have kids? That in itself, it can just build if you do it consistently and you continue to build those relationships and you continue to talk to new people on a daily basis and continue to add new people into your network. And definitely the Josh Coates training, highly recommend it. Definitely, pushed me. I think I was getting in a trap a little bit of talking to the same people over and over again. And it's like you want to continue to follow up with people because I've had a lot of, most of my Success Club points don't come from the people that I'm reaching out to this month. It's someone that I reached out to last month or the month before that. It's usually 3 or 4 follow-ups. But at the same time, you still need to be talking to, for that reason, more people every day to just continue to build those new relationships. So he definitely pushed me to talk to more people every day and not get so hung up on the people that, tell no, or they're not ready. Just have to, keep building those relationships and find the people that are ready. Caring about people and just really just being your true self and just asking questions, just getting to know the person.
And Ashley is my story of like, you never know where people are at or when they're going to be ready, because I reached out to Ashley when I was in a business boot camp. And I called her, we talked on the phone for probably almost an hour. I didn't know she was pregnant when I called her. And she had her baby a few months later. And then 6 months after that, she called me and she said, hey, you know that video that you sent me a while back? Could you send it to me? Like, she started Facebook stalking me, and she called back when she was ready, and she hit the ground running. So thank you, Ashley. Now, Martha has been like my wing woman since the beginning. Like, Martha is the yin to my yang, and she keeps me when I get in my crazy high strung, Martha is that person who brings me back she brings me here to the heart of really what this business is. And I'm eternally grateful to have her with me on this journey. Martha is also a Success Club legend. She has never missed a single month since she signed up. And I wanted Martha to share with you because she is so consistent in video on her like page. Now, Martha builds her business from her like page, and she shares that to her personal page, but she is just absolutely beautiful and open and honest. And unlike me, she could give two craps about what she actually looks like when she comes on a video. And her page is Martha Clements Happy and Healthy, if you want to go check her out. Martha, go ahead and just chat about how you kind of got into that habit of doing live video, and also how you've managed to come across very comfortably on that.
Thank you, Sarah. I can't believe that I said yes to Sarah two and a few years ago, because I love being here. So yeah, I love to do video on my like page, and that's because I am not really a well-written person. I think I can get it out sometimes in the way that I want, but what happens when I try and type out a post is I start here and then I end up all the way over there. And it's a lot easier for me to just say what I'm thinking, and I think I can do it more concisely. But I love Shalene Johnson, like love her to death, and want to be her kind of in a way, though I don't have the ambition she has. But I watch videos and videos and videos of hers and just like take as many tips as I can. I, like Sarah, am also a podcast fiend. Like, I don't, like, if there's silence in my house, it's weird, because I'm normally constantly listening to a podcast. And why I say that is because, sure, I get training from those things, inspiration, motivation, whatever, from podcasts, but most especially, I think it just gives me tips on how to talk to people in a way that they're going to be inspired and motivated by. So that's my first tip for live videos, is just listen to other people talking. Watch videos, other people's live videos. Take away their highs and their lows. What do they do well? What do they not do well? And Shalene does a lot of great trainings like on the side of live videos. So that's kind of where I started from. But here's the easiest thing for me. First of all, like Sarah said, I don't care what people think about what I look like. Like, I normally do live videos after I work out, because I'm just like so pumped up and focused and like motivated. And that's what people need to see. I don't need to go shower and do my makeup and everything like that. Sometimes it's right in the morning. It doesn't matter. The point of the live video is for people to relate to you. And that's what Shalene says. Make people feel like you're their friend. And so that's how I do live videos. I just talk. I look like right in the camera. I don't look at myself. I don't care what I look like. I don't care how I sound. I don't care what my room looks like behind me. If I use my hands too much, and I just talk like I'm talking to my friend. And I feel like people connect with that because they can feel that genuineness. And so that's another tip, but most importantly, before you press go live on your little live button, have a plan. Don't just hop on because you got like a little quote that you got inspired by. Have a story or a connection or something to go with it. Don't just hop on and don't script it out either. I tried that one time and it was really ugly. Have like a plan in place and share that, kind of wrap it up. Maybe connect with the people who are on if they're commenting. Normally my mom always watches mine, so I comment back to her. But make yourself relatable. Do stupid things. Don't worry about if you say a sentence wrong. If you cuss, cuss. If you snort, snort. Like, people want to know who you, honestly, people want to know who you really are. If you're in your kitchen all the time, then that's where you should do your live videos. You know, just be you. And people are so attracted to that. And what that does is, like Ashley said, connecting to people through a message, they hear your voice because they're hearing it through a video, and then they're going to hear it in a message too. And so it's important. I try and do maybe like 3 or 4 live videos a week at least. Some days I want to do multiple videos because I'm just feeling inspired. I'm like, oh, that might be a little bit overloaded. People might get annoyed by that. But it's definitely about consistency, because if you do multiple live videos, people will start getting your notifications more and more. So don't just try it. Like, give it some trial runs and be vulnerable. Say, I don't really like this live video thing. It makes me feel like really weird. Please don't judge me. Say that the first couple times, or like, I'm really getting used to this, but I really like reaching out to you this way, so that people, they're not judging you either way. They're not judging you. And if they are judging you, this is going to be my last point. If they are judging you, then they shouldn't be the people that you're talking to anyway. And that's kind of been my new thing the last month or so. But if those people are the people that you're afraid of, then forget it, because they're not going to join your team anyway. They're not going to be your challengers anyway. So let it go. Be you. The people who are going to love you are going to love you, and the people who aren't going to comment, and they'll probably stop following you. And you're allowed to say, just don't follow me if you don't like what I'm saying. So those are my tips for live videos. Check out my page, like Sarah said, Martha Clements, Healthy and Happy. Also, you can message me, and I'd be happy to answer more questions for you there.
Okie dokie. Martha, I forgot to tell you, is also a lifetime diamond as well. So, and she was on the leadership retreat with me last year, and Katie and everybody went down to Florida, and Diana I see is on here, and I'll tell you, it is absolutely amazing to be able to travel with these ladies. Amanda and I have been working together for, it feels like forever. I mean, it's been probably barely over a year. But I finally get to hug her at Summit in New Orleans. Like, it's just so exciting to be. When I was growing up, like, I was a dancer, but when I went to college, I kind of, I had some really good friends in high school, but I kind of, I closed myself off. I was very determined and had this plan of, I knew I was going to be an athletic trainer. I just kind of focused. And I started hanging out with the guys more, being around sports all the time. I didn't have those, because I wasn't part of the team that I was treating, kind of felt like an outsider, even if I was working with a women's team. And so after getting married and still working in athletics and still, it just I realized I got to a point where I was missing a lot. I was missing having goals. I had finished my master's degree. I had had my kids, and it was okay, what's next? I didn't have anything that was coming up next. And this is what was next for me. And I didn't even know it. I wasn't looking for it. It found me at the right time. But it wouldn't have found me if Megan hadn't just said, she had just opened her second business center, and she wanted to build that out as soon as she could. She was inviting everybody who she sold a challenge pack to be a coach. And I happened to say yes. And it literally has changed my life. It is changing the course of my family's, history financially. This has been, finances is a big part of my story. And it's still developing. I'm not making a full-time income with Beachbody yet, but that's the plan. So I'm going to open it up for questions because I hope there are some, but if not, I need to stop somewhere, and I tend to ramble.
Can I add on to one thing that you kind of touched on a little bit? You talked about consistency. And I think that that's a common thread through our team. Like, we may not be a 2-star, 5-star, 10-star team yet, but we are consistent as hell. And we do our power hours and we run our groups and we're constantly talking to each other. And I think that that is something that creates such a solid team, and we're just like, we're so on the brink, but that's because we're not stopping and we keep each other accountable. And that's really important for you to know that you're part of that team, because it, like any team, you're as strong as your weakest link. So none of us, not that we're in a competition with each other, but we are constantly pushing each other to be better and not being the weak link. We are all refusing to be the weak link because we're going to be consistent. We're not bringing the team down. I think that's definitely part of team balance.
And we consistently work with each other. Like Martha said, we are keeping each other on track, but we're also consistently working in smaller groups together for challenge groups, whether it's 5-day groups or 21-day groups. We have it's just very much, most of us work a full-time job. And so we can't do it by ourselves. And, it just, you have to you got to figure it out. And a lot of times it's easier to figure it out with other people rather than, I can't do it all myself for sure. I'm going to show you guys our team logo really quickly. Because this is something like I've had my team balance name for a while, and people are like, oh, I don't know what to pick for my name. I actually hated my team name for a while, but I picked, let's see if I can get this. So it's a turtle, and this is, instead of team, I picked tribe, because it really just becomes like this, it is. It's this living unit. So, in a tribe, in a family, there's always people coming, there's always people going, and the people in the tribe are changing together. But there's we have this kind of hard to crack outer shell. A lot of us are really resting bitch face kind of people. And that's okay. I mean, there's a good reason why, some of the people, sorry for the little ones, there's a good reason why we have high achieving people on the team, both, in life, they're going to be in the business as well. We have a CEO of United Way on our team. Sara is the CEO of United Way, Eastern Maine. And that just, it's incredible. She did that while she was running challenge groups. It blows my mind what people, I think, really feel confident in doing when they have support, not just from family, but from friends and people who are building them up. And Katie, I will let you make some closing comments since we've only got 3 minutes and 47 seconds left.
Well, I just have to say that thank you guys for sharing, first of all. I was taking some notes. The one thing, actually, and I've thought this before, but your team reminds me a little bit of my own team, because I think there's nothing wrong with the way anybody runs their team, but I think I see more quality over quantity in terms of different things. And I think, like you said, I do fit my business into the mom cracks, and I think on my team in general, and overall on our teams, you don't necessarily see the most amount of coaches being signed or the highest number of challenge packs. We're not necessarily stand out comparatively to certain people, but consistency is huge, and you can definitely build a solid team that way. And income, absolutely. So I think a couple things that stood out, and I think it's similar to the way we run, is getting those sort of 4 vital behaviors, getting people in challenge packets, getting them results, and those are our coaches, and those people become our leaders. And that's so true, and it's so easy to get away from that when we're trying to build to Diamond or to 2-star or whatever we're trying to build to, and we're inviting everyone. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we shouldn't invite everyone. But our leaders are what make us strong. It's not, if you can sign 5 coaches, but if you don't get any leaders out of those 5 coaches, it's hard to grow your business to 2-star or 5-star or whatever. And getting those people to love the products and then bringing them in as a family. I love that. Like whoever said, one of your coaches who said, really like listening to the people they're talking to. And I'm sure that's the same way in your team, where you guys have developed this close relationship with each other from listening to one another and really being real. And I know Sara shares her struggles. She's not this like perfect, I'm perfect, and you guys all have to be perfect kind of leader, and it shows within your team. So I thought that was awesome. There's like a little over a minute left. Does anyone have any questions or anything? We can always post in the event as well. I thank you so much for being on. Like your stuff is awesome. You guys, your team is awesome. I'm loving watching you guys grow this year. I'm really excited to see, how you guys sort of it all plays out. All you up and coming leaders. Who was? I think it was Patrick Roman who said. I don't know even when he said it. If you can find your couple leaders, then you have become successful, and I see that with you guys. So anyways, thank you all for being on.
Thank you, Katie. It was an honor. Appreciate you having us.
Yes, and I'll get that recording ready and I'll send it to your team as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, have a good night. Bye. Thank you, everyone who chatted.